Hello, Deborah with Preservation Publications and Preservation 2012 on YouTube. Between where we are right now and where we'll be comfortably living with the changes that we're going through right now, it's a huge gap. It's a huge transition that we have to go through. And it's going to be painful, and it's going to hurt. And a lot of people are already aware of it. They are preparing to the extreme, not knowing what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. They're trying to be ready for all possibilities, which is a good thing, a very good thing, if you've got the means and you've got the mind to get you through it. Most of us don't have a huge piece of property that we can use as a retreat. Most of us are living in tract homes with small backyards and small front yards, or in apartment buildings that have no yards at all. Not only are a lot of us restricted by space, a lot of us are restricted by budget, and even more of us are restricted by a lack of imagination, which is probably going to be the end to quite a few of us. We can't think ourselves outside this box. I've only been able to get tastes of what it means to live with disaster or in disaster, and they're only for short periods of time. I've survived earthquakes and hurricanes and snowstorms and felt the hardship of those events, but have never had to adjust a lifestyle to living in that kind of environment for any great length of time. And I'm not looking forward to it. I don't think anybody's looking forward to it, but I think those kinds of changes are coming. And I think the hardest thing for me through this entire process is knowing what to do to prepare. I don't know what I'm preparing for. I have never lived through the collapse of a currency. I have never lived through the collapse of an economy. I have no idea what to prepare for in those respects. I can study and I can read about it. I can understand what happened in the Soviet Union. I can understand what happened in Argentina. But that doesn't mean that I know how to survive it or prepare for it. It means that I've read about it. So I think that the best that I can do at this point is to go with what I've got, just like everybody else has to go with what they've got. If you've got the yard, I've said it before, I'll say it again, put in a garden. It's not just about your survival, and it's not just about my survival. It's about the survival of everybody around us as well. You've got to keep that in mind and try to prepare for that also. If you've got a neighbor that can't fend for him or herself, keep that person in mind. If you have small children that live in your neighborhood and whose parents aren't preparing gardens and storing food and so forth, keep those little guys in mind. They're going to need your help. And if you've got the means now to help them, make sure you do. Try and set up some kind of neighborhood food bank, if you can, through a church or through a synagogue, where food donations can be made when things really get bad, that are willing to take on the responsibility of handing out foodstuffs and so forth. Make options available to people that will have nothing, will have no place to go, and will have no resources. Try and get this set up and structured. We are all kind of responsible for each other in this situation. And if you've got the knowledge now that people don't have, you're going to have to be prepared to share that knowledge. You're one of 10% of the population that have been gifted with this information. You've got to be responsible enough and knowledgeable enough to know that you're going to have to share the information as the days move on and as this crisis grows. If you can, make lists of wild edible foods that are around your neighborhood. Take pictures of them and put them on posters. Put them in bags with beans and seeds, and make little charity baskets out of them, if you will. Make them available to people so that they don't starve. If you've got the means and ability, and there's property around you that's kind of hidden and set back. I know that I'm living around a lot of woods, a lot of wooded area. Grab some beans. Grab some navy beans that you could buy at the grocery store and just throw them around out there. Perhaps they will sprout. Take the initiative. Help your neighbors put in their gardens. Help your neighbors plant fruit trees and herb gardens. If you are one of the 10% that understand what's happening, that understand what is coming down, then that puts a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. Because 90% of the people don't get it. 90% of the people won't get it. They'll react through fear, through rage. You name every negative human behavior possible, and that's how they're going to react. You've got to be the voice of reason. In a reasonless world, you have got to be the voice of calm in chaos. You've got to be the voice of knowledge and guidance, just as you are right now, making your videos, putting out your information, publishing everything that you know about preparing for the inevitable. I don't know if we should consider ourselves lucky or not that we have had the foresight to prepare for what's coming ahead. I don't know. It might be a curse. After all is said and done, it might be a curse. I don't know. Do what you can for your family and your friends and your neighbors. Until next time, for our families, our neighbors, our friends, and our communities, preservation.